Hey, Dan Passarelli here, and thank you so much for attending this session. I'm really excited to share with you this trading system that I developed to help my own trading and turns out to help yours too. Before we get started, I need to point out options are not for everyone. You should read characteristics and risks of standardized options before trading. Get a copy of that by emailing investor services at theocc.com. Don't trade with money you're not prepared to lose. And everything we're doing here today is providing generalized information. So I'm just going to jump right in here, if that's okay. Think of your usual trading size. Maybe it's a 5 lot, maybe it's a 50 lot, or even just 1 and 2 lot. What if you knew that a trade was going to be a winner? Would you trade just your normal size or would you trade it bigger? Well, you trade it bigger, of course, right? The more confidence you have, the bigger you can trade, and that's how you make money. So, look, on April 30th, 300 call credit spreads traded in United Healthcare. 2 days later, at expiration, the person who made that trade could have locked in a $61,500 winner. Now, that is a nice 2 day profit. It's a big trade. It's a lot of confidence on this trade. So, who is making trades like these? Well, it's the Wall Street traders, the professionals, the guys that people are saying they're always taking my money. These are the people we love to hate, the professional traders that trade for the big institutions. Institutions like Goldman Sachs, who made $46.3 billion last year. How is that remotely possible? $46 billion? These institutional traders are the same people who made billions leading up to the 2008 financial crisis that put people at risk of losing their homes. And some of them actually did lose their homes. How can we compete when their order gets to the exchange 3 milliseconds before ours? But one thing that's undeniable is that these guys are smart. You don't get to that level without having figured some stuff out. Now, we still don't have to like them or trust them. I can still disparage these people every chance we get. But they make money because they know exactly how to do it. The bad guys. Are these institutional traders our friends? Yep, they sure are. Why? Because from today forward, these institutional traders are going to help you with your trading every single day on a daily basis. Just imagine that for a minute. There's a way to have institutional traders share the trades that they're making with us real time. They do all the work. We see their trades, and then we'd go and trade those trades right along with them. So this is my promise to you. I'm going to share with you a way to trade high probability trades so that you can boost your win rate and profit more on each trade, all while reducing risk. And you're going to do it by actually seeing the trades professional traders are making real time without them even knowing. That sounds pretty great, right? And at the end of my session, I'll share how you can take the next step and start getting these results right now. What do you say? Is that a fair deal? Yes. Hit that questions box and give me a big old yes if you think that what you're hearing is pretty darn good. Now, be sure to stay until the end of the presentation. The most important things I'll share come later, and I'm going to hold all questions until the end. If you have a question, write it down. I will get to it. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with me, my name is Dan Passarelli. I traded for years down on the floor of the Chicago Board Options Exchange. I wrote 2 of the most popular books on option trading. I've worked with every major options broker and options exchange in the US and abroad. And I get to be on TV a lot, which is kind of fun. But this is also who I am and what I do. These are the important things. Most important thing to me is my family. My wife, Kathleen, who many of you who are market taker student traders already, you know Kathleen, she runs operations here for us. Previously, she was a copy editor, what you might call a proofreader for some pretty well-known publications. And now she proofreads our articles and our PowerPoints and everything as well. She catches our mistakes. She's the one who makes us look smart because anybody can make a mistake, right? Now, let's talk about you. I know some of you are just starting out and some have already been doing pretty well, and some of you have been struggling for a while. Well, whatever your success level is now, you know you can always do better, right? And maybe that means having a little more freedom to take some time off and play golf, or take that 3 to 5 day vacation to a dream beach home at an Airbnb with friends and family. Or maybe be able to give a little more to your family members or put your kids or grandkids through college. Listen, here at Market Taker, I'm not going to be the guy who preaches about, buying that brand new Ferrari. That's just not us. But what if you could learn a life skill, trading, that allowed you to be able to go and, purchase, some fun little Mustang convertible to joyride on a nice summer day? All this is possible. Now, a lot of people buy options, but you have time decay working against you. It can be hard. So I say if you can't beat them, join them. Put time on your side. Instead of buying options and being at a disadvantage, sell them. In fact, selling options is actually more popular than buying them because it's a way to make money by time passing. Now, one thing about selling options, though, if I just sell an option, I could end up with small profit potential, but much bigger risk. So you want to be strategic. There are two limited risk, very strategic option strategies that are kind of at the heart of really all good option trading. I call them the mother strategies of option trading. They are credit spreads and time spreads. If you can master these two strategies, you'll have all of option trading mastered. The reason is because nearly every option strategy is made up of one or both of these. It's important to get time spreads and credit spreads. Right now, I'm going to share the inner workings of credit spreads and walk you along the path to putting them to use. So there are two types of credit spreads. Credit call spreads, which is when a trader sells a call, usually at or out of the money, and buys a higher strike call with the same expiration on the same underlying, and put credit spreads. That is when a trader sells a put, usually at or out of the money, and buys a lower strike put with the same expiration on the same underlying. Now, if any of these terms are new to you, don't worry. Throughout this training and afterwards, I'm going to cover everything you need to know to trade these with the skill of a professional trader. Now, an important takeaway is that because there are both call credit spreads and put credit spreads, this method works in both up and down markets. It's to be clear, these are not directional trades. They're not bullish or bearish trades. With the call credit spread, as long as the stock doesn't rise too much, the trade makes money. With put credit spreads, as long as the stock doesn't fall too much, it makes money. These are what I call line in the sand trades. So let's go through an example so I can show you what I mean. Let's say a trader is studying Citigroup stock and thinks it's not likely to rise above a certain point. Maybe there's resistance at $54 a share. The trader can position him or herself to make money as long as Citigroup doesn't go up above $54 a share over the next 10 days by selling the 54 calls that have 10 days until expiration. And at the same time, as part of the same trade, they buy the 55 calls in that same expiration. So they sell the 54 calls at 49 cents, buy the 55 calls at 28 cents. So they collect 49 cents, pay out 28. This trader collected a total of 21 cents. This is a 10 lot. So 21 cents of option premium is $21 of money times 10. This trader is actually collecting $210. As long as the stock stays below $54 a share for the next 10 days, this trader can make up to $210 on this 10 lot and do so with limited risk because we're protected by buying the 55 call. Now, let's talk about probability, right? This is a probability curve. The horizontal axis is the stock price, and the vertical axis is the probability of the stock being at that stock price. What I have here is a bell curve. Now, most finance professors who get technical use fancy terms. They say that the stock prices are log normally distributed. So this image here being a bell curve, it's not technically exactly correct, but it's close enough. Here's what it shows. The middle is where the stock price currently is. The higher part of the curve there says smaller moves are more probable than bigger moves. If we're looking at, say, a 30-day period, if the middle line is the stock price today, most future prices will fall here close to where today's stock price is. But a small number would have closing prices farther away from where the stock is now. Now, another huge implication that this has is that finance professors assume that the stock has about a 50-50 chance of going up or going down. There's a slight interest rate component there, a compounding component giving a bias to the stock going up, but this is basically how finance professors think about it, 50-50. That said, we're going to talk about how we can change those odds more in your favor in just a minute. Because in this case, the stock was at 52.61 when the trade was put on, and we sold the 54 strike calls, we had a head start in making money. So let's go back to that professor math. If the stock is at 52.61, and there's about a 50% chance of it being lower at expiration, that 50% of occurrences, well, they'd be winners. Then for the other 50% of the time, when the stock goes up, well, some of that time the trade would be a winner too. Only if it's trading far enough above the strike does the trade lose. And that's why credit spreads are naturally high probability trades. And that has huge implications. First, the objective, it's not just to do this once to make one trade, it's to make these trades that have a better chance of winning over and over again every day. More wins compound over time and can grow your account exponentially. That's great if you have a small account and want to grow it into a bigger account. And even if you have a big account, want to grow it yet bigger. So let's go back to this, because with our trades, we have to look at more than just the win rate. We have to talk about the risk, right? Every trade is a balance of probability versus of success versus risk reward. So let's look at that Citigroup trade again. If a trader sold this credit spread and collected $210, held it all the way till expiration, and the stock ended up below 54 at expiration, the options would expire and the $210 would be the final profit, as shown by this part of the blue line here. If the stock rises above $54, well, the trade might still be a winner. The credit from selling the spread was 21 cents, so the actual break even is $54.21. Below there, the trade wins. Above there, the trade loses. And we'll talk more about the loss in a second. Now, first, as you see here, like I said, the stock is currently at 52.61. There's about a 50% chance of the stock going down. And if it does, it's trading lower at expiration. That leads to my maximum profit. And then there's a 50% chance of it going up. And some of that 50% would also lead to the maximum profit up until we get to $54 a share. That's when the trade starts getting worse. So the odds of success are overwhelmingly in your favor. But I want to be very clear about something. You do stand to lose more than you stand to win. That's how it is with all credit spreads. While the maximum win is 21 cents of option premium, or $210 of money on this 10 lot, the maximum loss is 79 cents. We calculate the max loss by taking the difference between the two strike prices, 55 minus 54, minus the credit. That's a dollar minus 21 cents is 79 cents. In this case, the risk is more than 3 times the profit. Like I said, there's a balance between probability of success and risk reward. So we need an edge above and beyond just probability of winning. And that is what is different about our approach to trading credit spreads. We get that edge, so the odds are overwhelmingly in your favor and beyond the simple approach that everyone else uses on credit spreads. What if we could find a bunch of credit spreads that are high probability trades to start out with? Then we take all of them and see which meet certain criteria that would make it an even higher probability of winning above and beyond that simple professor math. Then we take only the trades with the best probability of success versus risk reward of those. And that'd be powerful, wouldn't it? So remember this guy, the professional traders? I used to be this guy. Well, or at least a guy like him. Now, that was before I chose to work with you to beat guys like him. In fact, I knew this sort of guy so well, I have a picture of him from when he was a kid. Yep, that's probably him, right? They take your lunch money, they eat your lunch, they make you do their homework, and now they dominate the financial markets. Are they mean? Absolutely, they're mean. Some of these guys, they just take and take. Do they cheat? I don't know. Maybe they do. But you know what? Like I said before, they're smart. You can't be a professional trader, not for very long anyway, without having figured some stuff out. Say what you will about them, and you're probably right, but they know how to make money. So I have a question for you. What if you knew what the professional traders were doing? They'd find the good trades, they'd do all the research, they would trade them, and you'd know exactly what they were doing the moment they did it, without them even knowing. I mean, that's kind of like having the bully do your homework for you, right? Wouldn't that be great? But one thing we know for sure, even the smartest people sometimes make mistakes. So after the bully does their homework, we're going to proofread it to make sure it's right. This whole system is predicated on them being right, but they're not. You know, it is always right, though, methodology. Our methodology proofreads what they're doing. So we not only have trades from super smart people, but we're only taking the best of them. This is what I call the genius method. After seeing what professional traders are trading, we verify the technical setups using support and resistance, that we can sell options that are overpriced, and that there are no planned announcements that can cause a stock to lose. This is how we gain an unfair advantage. We see what the professional traders are doing right there on our computer. So we're getting their unfair advantages. Plus, we screen them with our time-tested methodology to take the best of the best. This does what no computer or human alone can do. It combines algorithm technology with hands-on screening. Now, before I get into seeing how the trades the institutions are making, let's first take a look at what this looks like in real life. So here is a simple example. So on March 27th at 10:07 and 59 seconds in NVIDIA, an institutional trader sold 1,000 of the March 28th 115 120 call credit spreads at 54 cents. So that means the trader sold short 1,000 of the September 28th 115 strike calls, and at the same time, as part of the same trade, also bought 1,000 of the May 28th 120 calls. Same expiration, two different strikes. That's called a call credit spread. Because the 115 calls are a lower strike, well, that means that the trader took in a credit when this trade was made. They had a higher premium. So in this case, they took in 54 cents per contract and 54 cents of option premium is $59 of money. Multiply that times 1,000 contracts. You know, it's a pretty big trade. Now, if this trader held the trade until expiration, which in this case was the next day, he or she could have made $54,000 at that time. What if you were alerted about this trade the second it happened? Well, a small trader following along, trading just 5 contracts, could have added a quick $270 to his or her account. $270 doesn't look like a lot compared to $54,000. But imagine doing this many times over and over again. This is what leads to this being a wealth building activity, even and especially for smaller traders. And bigger traders might consider trading somewhat bigger trades. Like a 10-lot trader could have brought in $540, 20-lot traders could have made $1,080. So here in MicroStrategy on April 9th at 2:49 and 0 seconds, 984 of the April 11th 230, 280 put credit spreads traded at $5.31. So this trader sold 984 of the 280 puts, and at the same time, as part of one trade, also bought the 230 puts. The trader took in a total credit of $5.31. So this is a put credit spread. Its advantage is that as long as the stock is above 280 at expiration, this trader could make a profit of up to $522,504. Imagine you see this trade the millisecond it happens. A trader trading a 5-lot credit spread could add $2,655 of profit. 10-lot traders could have brought in $5,310 following along, and that would be $10,620 on a 20-lot. And these are not super time-sensitive trades like day trading or anything. The price often doesn't change all that much over short periods of time. Remember, you make money by time passing with credit spreads. So even if you don't see it right away, maybe you notice it an hour or two later, it's still possible to be part of these trades. And we get these every day. And I want to zoom in on the timestamp on this one. I think you're going to find that interesting. In AFRM, on March 17th at 12:09 and 5.221 seconds, so that's down to the 221 milliseconds, a big trader traded 902 of the March 21st 43.45 put credit spreads at 78 cents. That's a pretty big trade. Then, about 40 minutes later, 639 more put credit spreads traded at 79 cents. So now we're getting into some big numbers. But then, about 17 seconds later, 491 more of these spreads traded 75 cents. If this trader held this to expiration 4 days later, and the stock stayed above $45 a share at expiration, he or she would have made $155,106. That's a pretty great trade, right? Even a small trader following along, trading just a 5-lot, could have added $390 to the account. 10-lot traders could have made $780 in profit, and on a 20-lot, that would have been $1,560. Now, these are just a few examples so that you can get a feel for how this works. I have dozens of examples how all this works that I'll be sharing in even greater detail in a boot camp video class. In just a few minutes, I'll share how you can get access to the video recording of that half-day boot camp. So any professional athlete or anyone who's ever graded anything for that matter, you know what they do? They get up like 2 hours before everybody else and get in their practice. And the best traders do that too. But you know what? I don't want to get up at 4 a.m. to do all the research. The one thing I know is that the big institutional traders, they're already doing that. Why should I double up the efforts if I don't have to? By now, we've covered a lot. Would it be okay if I show you a way to take what you learned here today and make it fast and simple so that you can start getting consistent results? And can I show you the way to actually see what the professional traders are trading? Well, Credit Spread Genius is officially here. Every day, you are going to get real-time alerts when traders are trading a large volume of credit spreads to open a new position. You'll be the first to spot these trades so that you can participate in the best trades in the market using my proprietary trade triggers to see exactly when the trade is happening real time. Then you just follow a simple checklist to proofread it. It's all extremely simple. I'm sharing this now so that you can start getting the results that you deserve. Like here, this one on March 17th in Expedia. A trader could have followed the institutional traders and traded a 5 lot of the March 160, 165 put credit spreads and could have made $650 holding it until expiration. A 10 lot would have made twice that, $1,300 profit. In Palantir on April 10th, a trader could have followed this trade and could have traded a 5 lot of the 84, 85 put credit spreads and made a quick $200 on just a 5 lot. Now, 10 lot would have been $400. In Tesla on April 9th, a trader could have followed this trade trigger and done the April 11th 262.5, 292.5 call credit spreads and made up to $2,355 on just a 5 lot. That's $4,710 on a 10 lot. I want you to meet somebody. I want you to meet Chris from Mobile, Alabama. Chris was one of the first people to use Credit Spread Genius. What Chris said is, as a busy professional, I like the credit spread alerts because they save me time researching trades. The nature of credit spreads also means that these alerts are not as time sensitive. I can check the alerts in between patients or at lunch, then quickly formulate a plan to execute the trade. So let's first talk about who this is not for. Look, this is not a get rich quick scheme. All right. It's just not that kind of strategy. This is about having a system that drives consistent overall profits. And this is also not for people who love spending hours and hours going through thousands and thousands of charts to hopefully, fingers crossed, find a halfway decent trade. This is designed to save you time because your time's valuable. These trades can literally be made in a couple of minutes, not hours, because all the information pops up on a browser window. This is not for wishy-washy procrastinators, for overthinkers. Wishy-washy people who see a good investment but can't make a decision to save their lives, well, they don't make very good traders. And I know it's not you because you've invested the time in being here today. So who is this for? This is for you if you want a true edge over the market. This is for you if you want your trading to be easier and less time consuming. This is for you if you have a busy schedule and can't look at the market all day long. This is for you if you can follow a few simple steps. And you know what? This is for you if you're willing to invest in yourself. I want to invite you to join us and start using the Credit Spread Genius system right away. So first, you're going to get the Credit Spread Genius scanner. So every day, you'll get real-time alerts when the big institutions are trading high probability credit spreads. This simple scanner searches the universe of over 5,000 stocks for the setup and makes it possible to find trades that you would never have access to without it. This is the easy-to-use alert scanner that instantly alerts you to big institutional credit spread trades. This is a screenshot of it. You will be the first to see these trades. You will be following the smart money, so you're never going to have to second guess your trades in the market again. You get password access to real-time trade triggers sent directly from the Chicago Board Options Exchange. I've pulled some strings for you. I've negotiated a contract with the Chicago Board Options Exchange for you to get professional trade data that you can't get from any other source. I repeat, you literally cannot get this from any other source. I, as a professional in this field, I pay for the data because not only is it expensive, it's about $7,000 a month for professionals, but it's not available to non-professionals at any price at all until now. And the best part is it's all legal. When you sign up, you'll sign up as yourself, a non-professional trader, but you're going to get access to these signals through this deal that I made with the exchange on your behalf. This is super powerful, but it's also super simple. The closest thing to what I'm sharing with you today is what you'd call an alert system. Now, this is what one person who used the Credit Spread Genius system had to say about his experience. I've used other alert systems before. Mostly those were alerting naked long calls or puts, mostly way out of the money and seemed like a lottery ticket. I never gained any ground with those. This credit spread alert seems different somehow, like it tells more of what the big dogs are thinking. So yes, what I've created is different because most alert systems, they don't work. Even the few credit spread scanners that are out there, there's barely any. Oh, they brag about high probability trades, but they're just doing the simple professor math. They don't have a true high probability. Once you weigh it against the risk reward, they don't have a true edge. So I have created a true high probability trading system with a real edge that doesn't require constant attention along with and it comes along with the training to screen and set up and manage the trades. I created something that actually works. And I talked to my friends at the CBOE about how to get this data. They built an algorithm just for me that scans the market every millisecond for trades the smart money is making and then pushes them out to our traders in a password protected browser. No one else on the planet has this technology. These alerts, they are truly different. You can't get these from scanning with your brokerage firm. You literally cannot get these anywhere. But the other important part of this is the proofreading and also the training on how to manage the trades. So I came up with some bonuses for you. When the plumber comes by your house for 30 minutes to fix a busted pipe, you're not really paying him for his 30 minutes, are you? You're paying him for his 30 years of experience. So I decided to save you years of time and put everything you need to know from my 30 years of experience into a few super short, quick, easy videos to get you up and running so that you can start using Credit Spread Genius right away. This video training course reveals step-by-step exactly how and why the Credit Spread Genius system works, how to set up the trades, the filters and cross scans to optimize the strategy, and of course, the targets and trade management. Because every step is laid out for you, trading the system takes all the emotion from your trading, making it easier to get the results you want. So you're going to get the trade triggers and you're going to get up and running fast with the accelerator course. The bottom line is, I know this can work for you because I'm going to make sure you have everything you need to make it work, including the Credit Spread Genius Boot Camp video course. You're going to get a complete drill down training video on every single aspect of trading the Credit Spread Genius system to maximize your chances of success. The bootcamp is recorded for your convenience or just to review, and it covers everything you need to know to truly master the system. The Credit Spread Genius Bootcamp is a $3,750 value. So this means you're going to get the Credit Spread Genius trade triggers. You're going to get up and running fast with the accelerator course, and you're going to master everything you need to know with the Credit Spread Genius Bootcamp video. Now, this is another bonus. This is the MTM Spreadsheet Trade Tracker. It's my personal spreadsheet for monitoring all my trades. I put it into a simple template that now you can use too. Its formulas are designed to easily calculate all the trade criteria that you need to analyze, trade, and manage your credit spread trades, as well as other MTM proprietary trade setups. I've made it so simple to track your trades in this sheet, it's like cheating. It's a $500 value, and it's yours today as part of the Credit Spread Genius trade package. This amazing value, it's not just because of the months of work I put into it, based on my 30 years of experience, but if you can manage your trades more effectively, make a couple extra hundred on your winners, lose a couple hundred less on your losers, and increase your win rate, this simple framework has the power to massively increase your bottom line. So today you're going to get the Credit Spread Genius trade triggers just popping up on a browser window. You're going to get the accelerator videos. You're going to get the boot camp. And I'm going to make sure you're not missing a single step, because I'm going to give you the spreadsheet trade tracker to make sure that you're recording every single number that you need to. Now, this bonus is designed to further keep you learning, keep you informed, and help keep you accountable. We call it Office Hours with Dan. The third Wednesday of every month, you'll join me online to check in, hear about the latest happenings in the market, what we're working on, and to get your questions answered on specific trades that you have on or are considering, or even general questions about the Greeks or option pricings or the impact of macroeconomic events, anything that keeps you moving forward towards your goal as a trader. So you're going to get the trade triggers, the accelerators videos, the bootcamp videos, the spreadsheet trade tracker, and I'm going to hold you accountable because we're going to meet once a month. This is a total value of $8,850. Now, the Credit Spread Genius system works on all platforms. You just open a simple browser window. It delivers your trade triggers live, real time, right down to the millisecond. There's no special software or anything. Trade on any trading platform you want. But you know what the best part of this is? It's the working leverage. And here's what I mean by that. So typically, more leverage means more risk, right? But not in this case. In this case, it means less work means more return. You're leveraging your time. We've done 50% of the work. It took me a couple years to create this. The institutional traders, they're providing the trade ideas for you. They're doing 48% of the work. You just do 2% of the work and you get to keep 100% of the profits you earn. Buy now. You can see why the Credit Spread Genius trading system is a steal even at $8,850. If all this did for you was identify high probability trades to take your trading from where it is now to boosting your win rate so you can be consistent and not have those huge swings that all too many traders experience, God, wouldn't it be worth it just for that? But today, this is not $8,850. Because you've made the investment of being here live on this training and being one of my action takers, you are the elite. And you deserve to be rewarded. You're better than millions of traders out there. You could have done millions of other things today. And I want you to have the results that you deserve. Get started today for a small, easy investment of only $597. But you have to take massive action by going to markettaker.com/CSG. 1, 2, 3, go. That's market like stock market, taker like take what is rightfully yours, 2 T's in a row, markettaker.com/CSG, short for Credit Spread Genius. Now, a lot of times I say, oh, this is limited to the first 20 people or something like that. In fact, Bobby, my marketing guy, says I should limit this to 20 people. But you know what? I don't think that's necessary. Well, you're smart, right? I'm not going to do that. I want as many people to have this as possible. So your question probably is why? Why would I? Why would I give such a huge discount to unlimited people? Well, admittedly, it's for the reason of pride, right? Because here's the thing. Every year, we strive to create 1,000 trader success stories. And the people who see value and recognize it and are willing to make the trade, if you will, they're the people who can be success. The people who hesitate and hem and haw and have to ask their mom if it's okay, they don't make good traders. So this, it screens people out, right? This is $597 per quarter. And I'll talk about what happens after the first quarter in just a second. That's less than $200 a month. You've seen the results that are possible with this, right? So here's your question. What happens after the first month? Because just like you, hey, I invest in myself. I'll go online, I'll watch a webinar. I mean, not on options. I've been doing this 30 years, you know. I teach options now. I don't attend webinars on them. But, you know, I will watch on time-saving things, way to be able to communicate information more effectively, you know, things that make me a better person. And when I see an incredible deal just like this, I figure, oh, okay, well, this is a trial. And after the first quarter, you know, it's $200 a month. I mean, that's nothing. After the first quarter, this probably goes to full price, probably goes to $3,000, right? Well, I don't believe in that for you or me. So when you go to markettaker.com/CSG today and invest in the credit spread genius system and invest in yourself, you're going to lock in the $597 a quarter for life. Now, when I say lock it in, you know, there's no long-term contracts. You can cancel whenever you want. You're locked in for as long as you choose to continue using the credit spread genius trades. And if you're making a couple $1,000s a month, then you'll gladly invest less than $200 a month, right? Invest hundreds to make thousands. Yeah, I mean, hypothetically speaking, obviously, but almost no one ever cancels this. It's that good. Now, by the way, I wasn't kidding. Like these trades literally come directly from the CBOE. In fact, as soon as you go to markettaker.com/CSG, you're going to be taken to the CBOE subscriber agreement from the exchange. Again, that's because of the deal that I worked out with the exchange so that I pay for the data. And because you're a non-professional, only through me can you get this data. So they require everyone to complete this form first. This should be what you're seeing right now. If you're not, go to markettaker.com/CSG and take a look. Also, use the same email here as you use on the order form. It's got to be the same email. Otherwise, it'll goof up in our system. So if you're using PayPal, use the same email address used for PayPal for both. Okay? Now, as a reminder, when you go to markettaker.com/CSG, first you're going to get the trade triggers that just pop up on your screen. I showed you what that looks like. Literally, the very millisecond the trade is made. You're also going to get the Credit Spread Genius Accelerator video course so that you can watch a couple short videos and start using this right away. Then the best of the best of you who take pride in your trading and want to be great at trading, you're going to watch the Credit Spread Genius Bootcamp video. That's going to dig deep and tell you everything you need to know to be awesome at this. And I'm going to give you the MTM Spreadsheet Trade Tracker, which has every step that you should be looking at on every single trade when you're doing the proofreading process. And I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to make sure you're doing this because every month we're going to meet on the third Wednesday of the month for office hours with Dan, which also gives you the chance to ask questions. Now, there's another bonus that wasn't on those slides. You're going to get access to the MTM community chat room. This is the greatest chat room ever created, if I do say so myself. Because in order for you to be successful, I've got to put you in a community of traders who are going through the same challenges that you are. And you're going to be in that chat room. You can share trade ideas with them. You can ask me or our other coaches questions. Super easy. Now, one thing that sometimes people will say is, hey, Dan, look, you know, this is exactly what I was looking for. I've got a small account, but I want to grow it into a bigger account. And this is a great high probability way to do it with confidence. But the problem is, I have a hard time coming up with the 597. Is there a way to finance this? And that answer is yes. You can use PayPal and PayPal credit. We have a deal with PayPal to offer you both PayPal as a payment option and PayPal credit so you can lock in Credit Spread Genius today when you check out using PayPal and just choose PayPal credit. And you do it the same way. Just go to markettaker.com/CSG. Mind if I over deliver a little bit here? Well, this is an extra bonus. When you join today, and everybody who did just join, I saw a few signups just come through. You are going to get a $500 value strategy session. This is a 30-minute phone call with our trader success team. You're going to talk about what hurdles you have before you, what's holding you back, and you're going to talk to our trader success team to overcome what's holding you back. And together, you'll develop a plan to get you to the next level. All right? This may include one-on-one coaching. It might include just reading a book. It might include whatever. This is a $500 value. Now, I'm going to open this up to questions about anything that we covered here today. What questions do you have that I can answer here for you to help you make the decision to join us? And you can also call 708-381-1768, right down here at the bottom of your screen, 708-381-1768. If you have any questions, call 708-381-1768. Or you can just point your camera app at the bottom right-hand side of the screen here on that QR code and also get your questions answered. And I just realized my screen is being kind of weird today, and I'm actually not able to see the questions box. So if you have a question, type it in and maybe David could read it to me. Sorry about that, David. I don't know why I can't see. I can't access my other screen, which is where I usually access it. But oh, I also forgot. There's one other bonus. This is great. This is a new thing that we've been doing. There's a video that I just literally recorded today for those of you who are watching this live, and we call it the Make Your First Trade session. You might see I had a whole bunch of people just join us, actually. Welcome and congratulations to those of you who did just join us, by the way. But those of you who did just join us, like you might log in, you might see the trade populating on the browser window that I mentioned. And you might say, oh, well, I'm not sure how to read these. I'm not sure which of these trades to take. Is this an opening or a closing transaction? So we get on, I just got on a live session and went through all the trades in the window from today and talked about which ones make the most sense to trade, which ones I'm trading. I actually entered in order live on the session to show you exactly how to do that. So, yeah, David, I'm sorry I can't see the questions. If there are any.
Oh, yeah. Um, what is your win-loss ratio? This one?
Yeah, that's a strange question to answer because we don't take every one of the trades. Some of them are designed to extract market information so that you can use it to trade differently. Like the trade that I had today, I looked at it and I said, "Oh, this is a good one, but I'm actually going to choose these other strikes." And I show you how to do that in the video. So, that's not, I don't want to say it's not a relevant question. I mean, it's a good question, but it's not how we track the system. It doesn't just logically work that way.
Okay. How many alerts come through weekly or monthly?
Yeah, so on a daily basis, you'll get anywhere from, maybe like 3 if it's a slower day to, 15 if it's a great day for credit spreads. And again, you're not going to take them all. You're going to cherry pick the best ones. You're going to cross check them, make sure that they're opening trades. So, I mean, a typical person might trade maybe 3 of these a week.
Okay. I'm not quite sure I understand this question. Maybe it'll make more sense to you, but I'll just read it exactly. You mentioned milliseconds in order placement. How fast do the orders come in for you?
Yeah, so and I'll just bring this back up. Like you can see here on this state, this trade happened at 14:19:06.459. So this is military time. So 2:19 and 6.459 seconds. That is to the millisecond. So as soon as that trade happens, it gets zipped to the CBOE and they use like lightning fast lines. And then it gets shot out to your screen really lightning fast too. I say it's to the millisecond because it's as fast as your infrastructure will allow it to come to the millisecond, you know? So yeah, I mean, it's within a second, just around to the nearest second. It's fast. It is lightning fast.
All right. And do you give your analysis on what the best ones are?
Yeah. So the best ones, I mean, this is from a few days ago. I mean, today there was one in Google. And there were about like 6 of them today that I went through. And there was one that I was like, oh, this one I think is a closing position, so I'm not that worried about it. There was one, like surprisingly, this is an interesting thing about this. Surprisingly, some of these are really, really close to the money. Like a lot of people like to trade credit spreads where they're, far enough for some wiggle room. So if I'm wrong, I can still make money. That's how I have typically done it. But a lot of professional traders don't do it that way. They actually trade pretty close to the money, which like I was surprised when after I developed this, after 30 years, I learned more about trading than I learned in the previous 10 years because you're like getting put into the brain of professional traders. You're seeing the trades that they make, and then you get to, you know, um, what do they call it? Deconstruct their logic and say, oh, wow, this is why they did this. I'm learning so much from that. So gosh, I mean, even if you just take 2 of the trades a week, you will level up in trading several levels. You will just learn so much about how professional traders think because you're only seeing professional trader trades. That's it.
Right. And do you do SMS alerts?
Uh, no, but you can pull it up. They come up on a browser window. Like this is literally like a screenshot from Chrome. So you can pull it up on your phone. What I do is I've got a couple of screens here, right? I like to do everything bigger and better. So I've got a lot of screens. You don't necessarily need this many, but if you've got an external screen, you put it on the external screen and it's just there live real time and it just goes and pops up. Now that's if you're sitting in front of your computer all day. If not, You put it on your phone, plug your phone in, and keep the sound on, and it just pops up. So, like, you don't even need SMS. It's just right there on a browser window. So easy.
Okay.
All right. And
Um,
I, I do have some frequently asked questions. And first of all, welcome to all the new folks who just joined. I see Charlie and I see Janet and Francisco and Raul and Henry. Welcome. Congratulations. Nice job investing in yourself. Hey, what if I can't install it properly? There's literally nothing to install. All the people whose names I just read, and there's a couple that came in on PayPal too. Uh, you have already gotten an email and password. Just open the email, click the link in there, and type in the password, and like there you go, you're done. You can watch the videos, you can see the alerts like literally right now. There's nothing to install. And is it time consuming? No, that's kind of the whole point. I know you're busy. I am too. Everybody's busy. I designed it so that you can literally trade the system in like less than a minute per trade, really. What if I can't figure it out? You can. Man, I'll tell you, I've had some people join this who like I'm surprised they could find their car in the morning, and it's in the driveway. It's super easy to figure out. You get both short videos in the accelerator course for reference, plus you get the boot camp video that literally shares everything you need to master credit spreads using this system. Was there another question that came in?
can you clarify when you would close out a trade before expiration?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, I cover all that in the accelerator videos because, like there's a lot of these systems that, oh, they give you the trade idea and then it's like, oh, yeah, congratulations, you're on your own. I hope it works out. Like that's terrible. You can't just get the trade idea and then say, see ya, buddy. So I cover all that in the accelerator videos and the bootcamp video so that you know exactly when to plan your exits and how to. Should I use a stop loss? Should I use a trailing stop? How do I do it? So it's all covered.
Okay. And fortunately, we have to stop there.
Great.
But